So how bad is criminal violence in Arab-Israeli communities? And does Prime Minister Netanyahu's new plan to beat it back hold any water? Here to discuss, we have attorney and Israeli journalist at Ynet, Dror Yemini. Dror, thank you so much for being with us. Now, how bad is the problem?
Yeah, needless to say, the numbers are speaking for themselves. When you see the numbers, you know that we are facing a real problem, which is getting worse actually every year because, just from January 1st, we are speaking about 7 people. And it's much more than the monthly average of 2020. So yes, it is a real problem, and we cannot ignore it. We could not ignore it before. Of course, we cannot ignore it now.
Well, so now the Prime Minister has spoken about taking action on this for some time. Has there been any real action taken, or discussions in the works, or does it appear to just be words and empty promises ahead of elections?
First, it should be tested in the long run. Right now, we do not know. I can just tell you one thing. It's not a question of money, because many people always say, we need more budgets. No, it's not the point. It's not the point because last decade, and you don't have to be a supporter of Netanyahu in order to admit it, last decade was the best decade from the point of view of budget to the Israeli Arabs. Did it help? No, it did not help. It helped in other fields, for example, education. For example, we know that the percentage of students in the universities, even in the leading universities, went up, which is great, which is wonderful, but it did not solve the problem of violence. And I'm going to say something which is maybe not politically correct. Yes, we have to think about culture, we have to think about tradition, and we have to face it. And when I say it, I do not mean only Arabs or Muslims, because it's not the point. The point is that we, in the 50s, for example, something of that kind, crimes, honor killings, were also among the new immigrants who came to Israel. And it does not exist anymore. The same happened with Ethiopian Jews. First generations, yes, they had much more honor killings or killings or crimes. And the older generation does not have it at all. Why? Because the change in culture. Somehow we have to face the problem also from the cultural point of view. It's not that I'm going to give you a solution, because I'm not sure that we have a solution. I do know that self-responsibility should be part of the solution. When I'm speaking about self-responsibility, I'm speaking about activists from the community, leaders of the community, that must do much more.
All right, Dror Yemini, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.